Babe, that was the 20th century. Will we have a new king here in the 21st century? With baseballs flying out of the yard at a record pace, Aaron's 755 may be in range as McGuire, Bonds, and Griffey are skyrocketing up the all-time home run list. Not to mention other young sluggers whose numbers will soon be necessary to track as well. They're gathered here in Atlanta, where history was made to pay homage the best way they know how.
And that ball is belted.
Hit it high, hit it far, back.
You can put it on the ball. Yes!
You got my hero, living on the best. You got my hero, one and soul. There goes my hero, watch him as he goes.
Atlanta. We mean that literally for the Century 21 Home Run Derby. A look at sold-out Turner Field in Atlanta, Georgia, and a look at the man that is trying to win the Home Run Derby 3 straight years, and that would be Junior Griffey. You won't see him play in the All-Star game tomorrow night, but you will see him in this Home Run Derby for the first time as a Cincinnati Red. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. So glad you can be with us. It's so much fun for moms and dads and youngsters to sit down. It's easy. It's a home run or it's an out. We've had home runs at a record pace this year. Why not now sit down, relax, and watch some of the great sluggers in the game, see if they can best Junior Griffey and the rest of the field. The frozen tundra of Turner Field, in which it was 100 degrees and now it's down to a tropical 90, we'll see these 8 batters, and these are kind of the batting order. We go in reverse order of how you have you're standing right now in home runs. We go league to league to league to league, which means Carlos Delgado with 28 and Junior Griffey with 28. Those in this competition with the most home runs, they will hit 7th and 8th. And with me is the Hall of Famer with 268 home runs to his credit, when the ball was not juiced, Joe Morgan. And Joe, what makes this event so special to you as a player that is in Cooperstown, but you come here, it's one of the most fun days we have all year.
Well, nothing gets the adrenaline of the players and the fans flowing like a long home run. I mean, the players even play home run derby and batting practice every day, so they get excited about it. That's why you see all the players sitting around clapping and saying ooh and ah, even when the ball goes a prodigious blaster hit by guys like McGuire, who's not here today, but Junior Griffey and all those guys. So the home run is the excitement, the most exciting play in baseball. People say it's the triple. I believe it's the home run.
Well, we certainly would attest to a full house here. Now, usually the last couple of years, and we were expecting tonight to have Mike Piazza, the all-star catcher of the Mets, with us. You saw what happened on Saturday, taking the pitch to the helmet from Roger Clemens. And Mike is at home. He did not make the trip. We will know more in a couple of days, but we hope that he is feeling better and is back on the field soon, because he, like you and all the players, really, really enjoyed this event. I tell you who's enjoyed it, and he's not the guy that hits the moon shots, but it's Junior Griffey. Why is Junior so successful in this event year after year, Joe, in your mind?
Well, the reason he's so successful is the simple reason that he doesn't have to change his swing. Everyone else tries to lift. He doesn't have to lift. He has a slight uppercut, not a big uppercut. You want a slight uppercut, so all he does is go out and hit like he does in the regular game. That's why he's such a great home run hitter. Not because he's so powerful or not because he has such a quick bat, but he has a perfect arc for a home run hitter.
We're going to be joined in the booth shortly by one of his former teammates, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez. Now I'm going to put a loonie. This is a Canadian dollar. I'm going to put a loonie on Carlos Delgado, who's become a complete hitter this year with power to all fields. But if you're going to win it, you're going to have to go through Junior. Will it be a three-peat for Ken Griffey Jr.?
Going back there to defend my title, my 2 championship belts. Well, 3, but just count.
21, the official real estate organization of Major League Baseball, and in part by MasterCard. MasterCard, proud sponsor of Major League Baseball and fan of the great American pastime. And by Scott's Roundup. Roundup kills weeds down to the root. Roundup, no root, no weed, no problem.
Welcome back to Atlanta, and since this is a heavyweight bout of sorts among the home run hitters, Who better to introduce tonight's 8 combatants than the dulcet tones of Michael Buffer?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Century 21 Home Run Derby here at Turner Field, the site of the 2000 All-Star Game and the home field of the defending National League champion Atlanta Braves. Now, before we continue, it is most appropriate for this particular home run derby that we acknowledge a legend from the city of Atlanta. He is a sports hero and a Major League Baseball Hall of Fame legend. Ladies and gentlemen, of course we speak of the all-time home run king. In the major leagues, he is number 44 of the Atlanta Braves. He is Hammerin' Hank Henry. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the lineups for the 2000 Century 21 Home Run Derby. Batting first, with 23 home runs at the All-Star break, from the American League Seattle Mariners, please welcome Edgar Martinez. Batting second with 22 home runs from the National League hometown Atlanta Braves, Chipper Jones. Batting third, he has 24 homers from the Boston Red Sox and the American League. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Everett. Hitting fourth, from the National League, Montreal Expos with 23 home runs. Here is Vladimir Guerrero. Batting fifth with 26 home runs, representing the Texas Rangers of the American League, presenting Ivan and batting sixth with 20 homers at the break from the National League Chicago Cubs. He hit 66 in '98. Ladies and gentlemen, slamming Sammy Sosa. And hitting seventh with 28 home runs, representing the American League from the Toronto Blue Jays, Carlos and batting eighth with 28 home runs. This year, representing the National League and the Cincinnati Reds, he is the reigning and defending three-time home run derby champion, Ken Griffey Jr. You've met the players, and they are ready. The officials are ready. The field is ready. Are you ready? Home Run Derby fans, are you ready? For the sold-out thousands in attendance here at Turner Field, and the millions watching around the world on ESPN. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Oh, you know, I was pretty thrilled with my voice until I hear Michael Buffer every year. I thought, you know, boy, I got great pipes, and I realized I win the silver medal in that two-man race. Well, that doesn't get you juiced up. What does?
the swing.
The obligatory team photo, if you will. And we have our obligatory team photo. We're joined now by the four-time All-Star and the starting shortstop for the American League, Alex Rodriguez of the Mariners. And good to see you, young man.
It's good to be here. Very different perspective for me.
Well, we get good seats. You know,
It looks easier from up here. You watch.
How are you doing? A very scary sight with you over the weekend as well.
Boy, I tell you, it didn't even look like me. When I saw the film, it was very scary. I saw my mom called me. She was crying for 6 or 7 minutes because that's how long I was on the floor, knocked out. So it wasn't a pretty sight. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe playing a little football.
Well, I understand maybe a knee, too, as much as the concussion?
Yeah, you know, the doctor said from time to time my brain will go. So people excuse me if I just go out.
Well, you won't be alone in this booth. I'm not talking about Joe.
No, you're right.
And my knee's a little sore, but I'm very optimistic. It feels very good. Jamie, the trainer down there, took good care of me, and I'll be hopefully this weekend in San Diego.
Great. Meanwhile, let's cut to the field where one of the great all-time Atlanta Braves, back-to-back MVP, Dale Murphy, throws out the first pitch. And Joe, it's a select group of which you are a member. Those have won back-to-back MVP titles. When he was on it, he was a smooth ball player, Dale Murphy. He didn't play at this field, though. He played at the launching pad. 3:35 to left. Unlike so many of the new stadiums, like the Safeco or Pac-Bell, it's pretty, it's kind of like the parks built 25 years ago as far as the wall goes, because 390 to the power alley and 330 is the shortest, but that's to right. But there's no odd bounces. There's no little crevices where you might hit one about 315 and get a home run. The wall is 8 feet all the way around, so it's of the new ones, as far as distance go, it's kind of an old, a 20-year-ago type ballpark. It's been more of a pitcher's park than a hitter's park. Here are the rules in case you're joining us for the first time. It's real simple. Every swing is a home run or it's an out. We bat 8 players in the first round. You get 10 outs per round. The top 4 will advance. We'll explain tiebreakers later. Now, a change this year, Joe. The semifinals and the finals are head-to-head. So whoever has the most, 1, will go up against the guy who had the 4th most. So 1 will play 4, then 2 will play 3 in the semis, and then we'll move on to the finals, in which that also will be 10 outs, and that's a change from last year. Well, this is a gentleman who you know a little bit, A-Rod. Edgar Martinez. Can he swing?
You know, he is, and I'm, of course, a little bit biased because I play with him, but in my mind, and I've heard over 100 people have said this all over the country, that he is the best right-handed hitter they've seen. And what he's done at 37 now, he is hitting the ball with power all over the field. And I describe him as a punching Judy hitter with 40 home run power, which is scary.
You know, the thing I find unusual here is he has a left-handed pitcher throwing to him.
That would be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, normally, you know, right-handed hitters like to have right-handers throw to them if they're going long ball. Left-handers' balls tilt away a little bit sometimes.
Does this one have a shot? It's to dead center. Our first home run of the evening. Rick Adair is the pitcher. You have your option to bring your own, which I know Carlos Delgado did, among others. Same spot. Edgar's trying to go to the deepest part of the yard.
It's a little unusual because we hit off, Edgar and I hit in the same group every day, and he hits off a right-hander, Larry Bohr, who has a little bit of a sinking action on his ball. So this is a little different for Edgar. So it's going to take him a few swings to get adjusted.
Now, I don't believe that Edgar has ever hit in this park. When you come, and I could ask you this, Joe and A-Rod, when you come to a park you have never hit in before, does it make a difference? Does it take you a while to pick the ball up?
Well, I mean, I was asking Edgar actually how you see the ball in this ballpark. He said you see the ball very well. It's a very good background. He did say that the ball did not carry as well as he expected. So, you know, those are the 2 things you look for. How does the ball carry, and definitely how you see the ball and how the lights in the ballpark.
Well, the second point, the ball does not carry well here, especially right center and left center.
This will be short. So Edgar has 6 outs
with just the one home run. You know, the home run went 432 feet. Of course, if we have a double derby, he's my favorite immediately, right, Joe?
But I like what A-Rod said. I think that most people consider him the best right-handed hitter in the game because he uses all fields. He takes pitches. I mean, he understands the strike zone. I mean, he is just a fine hitter.
You know, is here as a member of the coaching staff of the National League is Buck Showalter, who, of course, was manager of the Yankees in '95. And I think he sees Edgar Martinez nightmares in his sleep, Joe, from that Game 4 with the 7 RBIs. And, of course, he drove in the tying and the winning run off McDowell in extra innings in Game 5. He still has nightmares 5 years later. Hey. Meanwhile, he snuck one, and that's getting a little smarter, about 370. Now we're going down the left field side a little more. Does it have enough juice?
But I think it's what A-Rod said. Now that he's getting used to watching the left-handed slants of Rick Adair, he's starting to pull the ball a little bit better.
You know, Chris, another thing that the average fan perhaps may not understand about a home run derby, I participated in 2, and your rib cage and your lower back gets really fatigued. And I'll tell you, by the time Edgar, I'm sure he's feeling winded and a little bit tired right now.
That was one of the things that they thought happened last year to guys in Boston. The second and the third rounds, they were tired by the time they got to those positions.
Plus, let's face it, the humidity here is a little different than Seattle, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That is 10 outs. Our first
10 outs, but Edgar doesn't want to leave. He's a hitter. So 2 home runs for Edgar, and Gary Miller is on the field. Gary.
Edgar, you chose a left-handed twirler out there. Sometimes a right-hander to get more power will choose a right-handed pitcher. Why'd you choose Rick Adair?
I think I played with him years ago in AA. I know him, so I thought I had a good chance, but he still have good stuff.
Good stuff. Now, you seem to have more power pulling down the line. Do you wish you'd have pulled more in that round instead of going to center so much?
I was trying, but I wasn't able to do it, so that was my best shot right there.
Okay, we'll see how that holds up. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary. Hey, how about a great hitter knowing what the pitching was like with a guy in AA like 15 years ago? Hometown hero Chipper Jones is next when we come back. Welcome back to Atlanta. You know what? Just because baseball Major League style is dark on Wednesday, it's not on ESPN. On ESPN2, see the best of the minor leagues. 7:30 Eastern, the AAA All-Star Game from Rochester, New York, home of the Red Wings. Ruben Sierra's going to play in that game. And at 10:30 Eastern, the AA All-Star Game from Bowie, Maryland. Chipper Jones has one of the longest homers ever hit here at Turner Field. Now, admittedly, it's only been open for a few years. But Jeremy Burnett's 457. That is the longest. Now, I know Big Mac is not here tonight, but with Sammy Sosa and Junior Griffey and Carlos Delgado, maybe we see one longer than that tonight, Joe. What do you think?
Well, it's tougher to hit it over 450 when you're supplying all the power. You know, a lot of times when you catch a Nolan Ryan or Randy Johnson fastball, you get it out of here.
And a nice ovation for the MVP of the National League last year, hometown hero Chipper Jones. 45 homers last year is a National League switch hitting record. Mickey Mantle with 54 in 1961 is the Major League switch hitting record. 45 more, the majority of them last year, 30 lefty, 15 righty, but that's by far and away the best righty power side he's had. So obviously Joe and A-Rod, no surprise that he's going to hit lefty off of one of his Braves coaches, Glenn Mother Hubbard.
Chipper, I was with Chipper this morning, and he gave me a beautiful tour of this incredible place. Was able to see all the facilities and all the beautiful amenities they have here. So he's very proud of this place. I'll tell you, it's a gorgeous place here.
It's taking him a little while to get going. Lefty. This one is to deep right center. Back it goes. Back. Oh, yeah. Just eases one over the 8.5-foot line.
There's always more pressure on the hometown guy than it is anyone else. I mean, all the ovation he got and the fact that he doesn't want to disappoint his hometown fans.
So here the mic at the plate. But the players are.
I mean, we're miking the plate now.
Well, not actually the plate. Have you ever interviewed home plate, Joe? We had to fill some time way back in the early days of ESPN. Don't knock home plate until you've talked to it. This homer was 412 feet. This one is to dead center. Back, and it's gone.
I think this tells you the difference in today's players and how strong they are. I mean, center field to them is just like, pulling it. I mean, they don't have to try to pull the ball. These guys are so strong that they can go straight away, and there's no doubt that all the players today are bigger and stronger than ever before.
Hey, Rob, when you hit a ball to center field and it's a no-doubter, is it kind of a chest out going around the bases?
I'll tell you, when you hit him to center and you really hit it square, you know that it's going to be a long ways, and you feel very proud that you can hit it out to center field and actually know it right when you hit it. It's a great feeling.
Center field was always the big boy territory before. Tony Perez, my former teammate's going to the Hall of Fame. That's what he always said. Only the big guys can go straight away.
Just missed this one, so that'll be 6 outs for Chipper with 2 home runs. So early on, we have not seen a launching pad type evening, Joe and Alex.
This is definitely a different ballpark. I mean, the ball doesn't carry here as well as it did at the launching pad. I guarantee you, Edgar would have had at least 3 more home runs had they been playing at the old ballpark across the street.
All right, here we go.
It's Chipper trying to juice himself up a little bit. Got 3 outs to go with just 2 homers. Now 2 outs to go. To center field, curving, but just to the track. Well, he's down. That'll do it. So 2 homers for Chipper. I'm sure he's a little disappointed. Here's Gary Miller. Gary.
Woo! Chipper, you got a standing ovation from this crowd. You got your own coach pitching to you. The good and the bad of being here at Turner Field for this.
Hope he should have been a pitcher.
You guys are all complaining about the pitching.
No, he did good. Just a little under him, It's just a matter of a half inch, whether the ball goes out of the park or not. I was getting under him, so it was fun.
How come everyone's going to center field? How come you guys aren't pulling the ball?
I don't know. Most of us like the ball out over the plate where we can get it extended. I'm sure you'll see a pretty good exhibition of the guys behind me going straightaway right and straightaway left.
Well, maybe you'll make it to the second round for the first time. I don't know if 2's going to hold up.
I doubt it.
We'll see you in the All-Star game. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary, Chipper, thank you. Here are the homers that he hit. Well, this is the one that... Now this is on our ESPN True Track.
Well,
Joe,
basically, Derek just looked like he muscled that ball out. He didn't get the extension that he was talking about. He's just so strong, he drilled it over the right center field wall.
Now 2 is the number thus far. Can Carl Everett of the Red Sox, wearing 2, best it? A couple of home runs here. Oakland, who's like, they stop at every base at the keg and fill up and then keep running around. I mean, they're like your favorite team. The A's against the maybe not your favorite team, A-Rod. The A's and the Colorado Rockies, where the runs have been unreal at Coors, as always. Sammy and the Cubs against the Kansas City Royals in KC on ESPN2. That's Sunday night at 8 Eastern Time. There are $2 million signs here that if a player is fortunate to hit it, now these are a long way. One is in right field below the chop house, 458 feet, and the other is in left center, the bottom of the second deck. And that is a prodigious blast to get there, but there is a fan that doesn't know who he or she is. The seat's been selected that if a player hits the sign, they will win $1 million. This is Carl Everett of the Red Sox, who, well, you can see what he's done in the first half of the season. Almost equaled last year's output. This year with the Red Sox, he's an all-star. Last year with the Astros, he gave the sights, Joe, that he was going to become a big player. They won.
Well, the interesting thing is here, Chris, he's going from the right side.
Joe, one thing about it, most switch hitters, from talking to them in the clubhouse and stuff.
Be careful.
Most of the switch hitters say, well, I have more power right-handed, but I'm a better left-handed hitter.
Right.
And probably that's what, Bernie Williams, I know he feels that way, and some of the guys I talk to.
Well, I always felt that you were right, that he was a better left-handed hitter, but he probably has more power because his top hand from the right side.
Well, we got Rafael Belliard, who is pitching, long-time infielder here with the Braves. And speaking of infielder and teammate, and certainly a great friend of yours, Alex, a great friend of all of ours, Nomar Garciaparra. Nomar, can you hear us?
Yeah, what's happening?
How are you?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good. Carl's batting righty. What do you think?
You know what? I don't think he knew which side to go from. I think he's a little nervous, so he's like, all right, let's go right-handed. Oh, there you go.
There it is. You've seen that all year, huh?
There you go. Yeah.
Back, and gone. I mean, he came and wanted to be a Red Sox right away, firing daggers at the Yankees. I mean, that's a true Red Sox, isn't it?
No, and that's great. For him to get off to such a hot start, it's pretty important in Boston. Oh, look at him.
Oh, is it stay fair? Oh. We need Fisk to wave it fair, Nomar.
Wow, that's good. I'm going to try. I'll blow it for him.
What has he meant to this team this year? I mean, the way he came in and produced and actually played defense in center. Will this one stay fair? Yeah, home run.
He's meant an awful lot to our ball club. He really has. I mean, he just come in, like I said, he didn't feel like he had to do too much. He just said, you know what, I just want to be accepted. And he's been accepted and just done his job.
Hey, Nomar, you got words for A-Rod up here in the booth?
I got words for A-Rod. He's going over there relaxing right now, isn't he? He's sitting up there all nice and comfortable and everything.
Well, Nomar, we want to know when you're going to go hit, because I know you can hit at least 15 in this tournament right here.
Are you kidding me? No. Let the big boys go. I'm way too small. Well, Carl's doing well.
Yeah. Plays the leader with 3 already.
I know. Right now, I bet you his back's a little tight, a little sore. It's not easy. It's not as easy as people think,
Well, you were last year at Fenway. That was it's tough, like Chipper did, hitting in front of the hometown fans.
Yeah, It is, because you got all your adrenaline going, and, they tell you to take it nice and easy swing, and you just can't do that when you got the crowd behind you. There you go. Take it easy. Take your time. Yeah, like I should give him advice.
Hey, Nomar, while you're with us here, and I know we're watching your teammate Carl, but he's going for the line again. Back. Home run. Now he's figured out down the line. Hey, Joe, those would be out in center field, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but down the line is the best place to hit the ball here in this ballpark.
Nomar, 389 for you to lead the majors in hitting at the break. I mean,
is that what I am? I don't even know.
Well,
I couldn't even tell you.
I mean, you're almost in the zone where you go 2 for 5 and your average drops.
Hey, Nomar, that's the best way to keep it up there.
I don't even know. The way if we win, that's all that matters.
Right, that's the best way.
Hey, it's gone again.
How about that? Notice Carl's tugging on the batting gloves. That's a good sign. I like that.
Yeah, he learned that from you, right?
There you go. He's doing well. There you go, Carl.
This one is not going to quite stay fair. It's drilled as well. 5 homers with 1 out to go. Everett with 24 homers at the break. That's tied for 6th in the American League. And here's someone that had...
Well, I guess I'd say he picked the right side to hit from,
He did.
There you go.
Will this get enough juice? Back.
There you go, Carl.
Hey, Nomar.
Yeah.
If he really wants to show us something, next time he'll go up left-handed.
What's that?
He'll go up left-handed next time in his next round.
Yeah, he'll throw them all off, right?
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in the second round.
And, he's that kind of an athlete. He can do that.
Wow.
That's great.
Great job by Carl Everett with 6 home runs. Gary.
Carl, 6 home runs. The rest of the field only has 4. You got in the groove there, and you figured out from the other guys you got to pull the ball in this place, huh?
Well, I surprised myself there. I didn't expect myself to hit that many. I just wanted 2 like those guys, but Rafi was putting the ball right there where I like it. Unfortunately, a couple of them went foul.
So the key is the pitching.
Well, if you get the pitches that you like, pretty much with these guys out here, they're going to hit it out.
Your teammate Nomar Garcia-Parra was describing the action for us and said you might have been a little bit nervous. This isn't as easy as it looks, and you wouldn't decide whether you wanted to bat righty or lefty. I guess righty was the way to go.
Yeah, I decided to go right-handed because it's more natural. Left-handed, if I go up there, I probably wouldn't have got any out. So, you know, I'm pleased right now.
Well, you're looking good. We will see you in the second round, it looks like, for now. Let's go back to Chris.
All right, Gary, quite a show by Carl Everett, guys.
Well, you know what I like about his swing is he keeps his hands up. He doesn't drop them. And therefore, any ball waist high and above, he can really hammer.
Here's the fourth one, Joe and Alex.
I like the way he swings down through the ball.
Right.
And even when he misses it, Joe, he can get enough carry where he can get a home run or two. He didn't have any cheap ones in this round, but that perhaps might help him in the second round.
Last home run went 434. Well, from north of the border come Vladimir Guerrero and Carlos Delgado. These guys can flat out hold. We've seen three, and Carl Everett is our leader thus far. We have 5 players to go here in this first round. After the 8th, and the top 4 advance to the semis. Now, if we're looking for prodigious blasts, this is the far-off shots, Joe, that you're right. The batter has to generate just about all the distance here with his swing, 430. And how about on the roof? Misses. The Drifters singing Up on the Roof, 433 feet, 80 feet high. And the only man ever to hit it in the second deck here at Turner Field was Vladimir Guerrero's teammate. That's Rondell White. So sometimes it's not the hugest guys that get this done. It's I guess, timing and a bunch of other things.
You know, sometimes it takes the right pitch and the right swing, and that combination, the ball can go a long way. And sometimes those shorter guys like Edgar and Randall White, they have that compact swing that the ball just goes a long, long way.
Joe, here is Vladimir Guerrero, who last year with 42 home runs broke his own Montreal record with 38 home runs. He's got 23 already at the break this year. 369 average is third in the league. His 76 RBIs are second in the league. Yet a lot of fans don't know about him.
Well, they don't know about him because he plays in Montreal. Both he and Jose Vidro have put some awesome numbers up. But the most impressive thing about Vladimir is that he was a free swinger his first couple of years, struck out a lot. And then he went something like 70 at-bats this year at the beginning of the season without striking out. I mean, he has become just a great hitter.
Oh, man! That is just juiced about 16, 18 rows back. So Vladimir Guerrero on the board. And there's Carl Everett, who put on a show.
I mean, Joe, this is the type of guy, and where we're in the clubhouse in Seattle and many major league clubhouses all over the country. And this is the type of guy that when he comes up to the plate, even Major League Baseball players stop and say, look at this guy. And we marvel at his talent because he is unbelievable. Hopefully people get a real opportunity of seeing what this guy's all about in the next 10 or 15 years.
Well, here we are in Atlanta, and I have a dilemma here, Joe. Do I go back in English, in Spanish, or in French? What you want me to one each if he keeps going? You want me to rotate him? What do I do? Well, that's an out.
Well, when you're hitting 370, and Alex would know how this happens. You hit 370, you hit a lot of line drives as well as home runs. I mean, if to be honest with you, can you tell the difference in the sound of his bat as compared to the other?
Oh!
I mean, just listen to how the bat comes up, the ball comes off his bat.
Atrás, home run!
That is a different sound, Joe. You're absolutely right.
I mean, his bat, the ball coming off his bat makes an entirely different sound. It sounds like an explosion.
Yeah. That was up in Rondell White territory. Second deck. Is this going to carry to the wall? Not quite. Oh, a little brushback. Oh, man, but that's going to be foul. That almost knocked the Coke bottle off. Hey, that second homer is Ernie Banks. Mr. Cub and Mr. Cub, Joe. That second homer, by the way, 454. Wow. I want to do one in French, Joe.
Well, not going to have the chance to say loin circuit. Alvaro Martin will visit with the Dominican Republic's and the Expo's Vladimir Guerrero.
I mean, with Vladimir Guerrero of the Montreal Expos, a man who lost his luggage on the way over here, and he's using somebody else's bats. ¿Qué bates estás utilizando hoy?
Bueno, siempre lo que he usado siempre en la liga y ahora mismo lo estoy usando también aquí en esos home derby.
Yeah. He's using either Andrew Jones or Edgar Renteria's bat, whichever really is good for him. He had 12 home runs in 24 games in the '94 Summer League in the Dominican Republic. That was the first time he showed power. We'll ask him how. En el 94 explotaste en poder. ¿Cómo fue?
Bueno, ya que comencé a levantar pesas, no levantaba y gracias ahora. Siempre la uso entre veces y siempre comienzo a hacer swing también, como lo estoy haciendo ahora.
Eating well, lifting weights helped, and of course, organized baseball for only the second year in his life really helped. Let's go back to Chris.
Alvaro, thank you. And Vladimir, thank you. And what a titanic blast, guys.
The one thing that he does is watch how he finishes off his swing. Watch the body language, the lower body, everything. Look at that. Everything is in sync. I mean, it's just he's got a beautiful swing. That's why he generates so much bat speed and so much power.
Oh. So that looks like one of your 3-woods.
No, I can't hit it that far.
Pudge Rodriguez will be up next. We have seen Carl Everett hit 6 home runs, and Vladimir Guerrero, Edgar Martinez, and Chipper Jones just 2. As we move to the heavy metal part of this opening round of our Century 21 Home Run Derby. We remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Major League Baseball. It cannot be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions may not be disseminated without express written consent. Go to MajorLeagueBaseball.com for the most complete baseball coverage on the internet. Here's a man with a smile on his face at all times. Even you can see it through the catcher's mask. Already at the age of 28 years old, he's in his 10th major league season. And the MVP of the American League last year, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, who, in addition to catching, has 26 home runs. He's tied for second in the league. 80 RBIs, tied for second in the league. And his batting average, oh, by the way, .366, is third in the American League. And he's a catcher.
And A-Rod, you know him very well.
Well, you know, Pudge, he's one of these guys that you can't say he's in the top 2 or 3 best at his position of all time. And I know you played with Johnny Bench, who's probably the best of all time. But what impresses me most about Pudge, Chris, is that we work out together a little bit in the wintertime, and, you know, he works out for 5-6 hours a day, and this guy really gets after it. He's really committed to the game of baseball, and, you know, some of the fans just see the production. They don't see all the preparation, and that's what I admire about Pudge.
And the toughest thing is the position that he plays in the heat of Texas, and he still has such strong seasons, I mean, year in and year out. And I think he's the best defensive player at his position in all of baseball. I mean, he controls everything from behind the plate. Even the great outfields, Griffey and all these guys, have to have balls hit out there to run them down. But he controls the game from behind the plate. He stops the other team from doing things, and he's in on every pitch. So he is just a big influence.
Well, not only that, he's also catching 145 games a year.
Right.
And, I mean, when we play him, Lou Piniella says, okay, for some of you guys that have the green light, in these 3 games you have a red light. So I said, okay, Lou, we basically staying at first base.
I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, I played with Johnny Bench, and Johnny Bench was a great catcher. And I'd always said I wouldn't compare anyone to Johnny Bench until I saw Ivan Rodriguez, and I've watched him year in and year out, and I do have to compare him very favorably with Johnny Bench. I think that they're a little different in their approaches. You know, I think that Rodriguez is a little more finesse. Bench was more of a powerful force behind the plate. He played the defense with a power, but this guy is so quick with his release. He has great footwork, and he's become, you know, just a great hitter. In fact, I've said often that I think he's, you know, you may have to consider him one of the best players in the game, meaning in the top 2 or 3 in the whole game.
He can beat you so many different ways, Joe. He can beat you with his legs. He's one of the fastest right-handed hitters in the game. He can hit the ball 500 feet, 450 feet to right center, and he can beat you with his arm and glove. So he's an unbelievable talent.
You're right. One thing he hasn't done here is hit home runs. You talk about the defense, 8 gold gloves. As far as catchers, only Johnny Bench's 10 or more in the history of the game.
And he will pass Johnny before it's over.
But he only hit 1 home run. He's with Gary.
Home run. Obviously, you want to hit more than that, but you told me you never hit many in batting practice anyway. How different was it to be out here and try to hit them?
Well, hitting home runs is not easy. I mean, especially when a lot of people's watching you. But I'm having fun anyway, and I have a great time.
Pretty tough for a guy who's hitting 366 to hit a lot of bombs, but last year you only had 15 home runs at the All-Star break. You're on a pace to hit more than 50 this year. What's going on?
Well, I just hit the ball good. I just try to stay back and try to hit it hard, and I just go out there and don't look for home runs, just try to get a good count on the baseball.
It was great to have you out here. Thanks, Pudge. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary, thank you. So Pudge only hit 1, but here's a guy that hit 129 in 2 seasons. Sammy Say It Ain't Sosa coming up.
It's time to meet
Carl Everett of the Boston Red Sox is leapt in front of everybody with his hitting down the line 6 home runs. And speaking of Boston, who can ever forget last year on the Monday night before the All-Star game, the show that Mark McGwire put on, peppering the Mass Pike, peppering the New Hampshire border, peppering Maine, peppering Nova Scotia. I mean, it was unbelievable. And the fans out there on the street, Lansdowne Street in front of the cask and flagon trying to catch the balls. And Big Mac isn't here this year with us, but a guy that can pole them maybe not quite as far, but except for Mark McGwire, this guy has hit the 2 best single seasons in the history of the major leagues in the home run department. 63 last year, 66 the year before. Sammy Sosa, who did not do well at Fenway last year. Joe, maybe this is the year.
Well, maybe this is the year for Sammy, because I tell you what, I talked to him the other day. He's back. He's happy now. A lot of controversy around Sammy for a couple of weeks there with the trade that may or may not happen. And no matter what he said, it did bother him a little bit. Now that he's decided that he's going to be in Chicago the rest of the year, I expect him to go back and have a good year. And he's happy. He was having a good time before the game today. He's really back on the Sammy Sosa pace that we know and love.
You know what is interesting? We can see up here the flash bulbs going off with the cameras. By far the most going off for Sosa thus far tonight.
Well, he got the biggest ovation when they were introducing the players.
I mean, how about 129 home runs in 2 years?
Chris, that's unbelievable.
Oh, speaking of unbelievable, Alex. Goodbye! Upper deck!
Wow.
You know what? When that fella bought that seat above the 1996 banner, I don't think he thought he would catch a ball, Joe. This is to left. Back it goes. Does it have enough juice? Yes, it's a home run. Hey, Barry Bonds is on the field. Barry, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hey, what about that shot from Sammy?
What about that first home run? I don't think anyone's ever gone up there, not in a game or in batting practice. He's amazing, man. He's really amazing. He's turned into an outstanding hitter.
I know you're standing in left field when he bats. So you hope it doesn't go over your head, but do you marvel when you sit and you watch a guy like Sammy hit these homers?
You know what? You marvel over a guy who's come into his own like Sammy has. I mean, Sammy Sosa, you know, even though he still strikes out somewhat, he's condensed his swing a little bit. He's making more contact, and when he does, it's definitely going to go out of the ballpark. And you got to commend a player like that. I mean, when you see a person who has potential to be an MVP-type player like Sammy Sosa, that's what the people want to see, and that's what they're seeing in the year 1998, and you're going to see it in the future.
96
or 99 it was.
Hey, Barry, that first one they said went 496 feet. Yikes.
I don't think I can hit a ball that far. But I out-age Sammy Sosa. But he is absolutely amazing. He is so strong. You know, you got to just look how he taps his foot back to get his body balanced. He uses his hands very, very well. The only time that you see Sammy make a mistake is when you see his front shoulder flying out. But when he keeps that front shoulder in and really concentrate and hitting the ball the other way, as I've watched him before in batting practice earlier, then it's pretty tough to get him out because he's going to drive that ball to left field really good. But only time you'll see Sammy get in trouble is when you see that front shoulder fly out.
Hey, Barry, speaking of shoulders, the upper body of Sammy, does that remind you of someone that you knew as an infant and obviously till now, Willie Mays, as far as he's not the biggest, huge guy, but the strength from the chest and the shoulders. Does he remind you of Willie a little bit in that way in the build?
No, nobody reminds me of Willie Mays.
I didn't mean it.
No. I don't think anyone in this game I can compare to Willie Mays. I mean, if you want to compare somebody to Willie Mays defensively, you're going to have to put Ken Griffey Jr. and Andre Jones in that category as far as defensively, because they run the ball down very, very well, and they're very consistent at it. But as far as a hitter and just a strict sergeant on the field, I don't think anybody's ever going to compare to Willie Mays.
Oh, no, I think we all agree with that.
Oh, wow.
Back. Goodbye.
Wow.
5 for Sammy.
Hey, Barry.
Yes.
How's your thumb?
My thumb's doing good, Joe, right now. And you know, I'm really grateful for being out here just so, you know.
And you have to be commended for being here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've told people before, you know, one day you're not going to have the opportunity to come here. Wow. I think Sammy Sosa is going to take a little bit of my limelight away. But to answer that, Joe, you know, I always thought that if the fans voted you in, it was almost mandatory to come here. Because in the early part of my career, you know, I remember Tony Gwynn being hurt and some of the other players being hurt, and they were always here. And I thought it was always a great thing to see them here. And I truly believe if the fans vote you in, you must show up just through the fact that they are saying that they respect your game and they honor you out here, and you should give them the most respect and honoring them in showing up. And that's why I'm here, and I'm also enjoying it with my son. My son's out there trying to catch Sammy Sosa's baseballs out there shagging, but he's not doing a good job. The wall's getting in the way.
Sammy has 6 home runs, which is tied Carl Everett for the most in the first round.
Yeah, but you know what? Don't count out Ken Griffey Jr. He's really experienced. Foul ball.
That ball is rolling down the highway, I think, about a half-mile from here.
You know what's so amazing is that some of these guys are hitting home runs in this ballpark and making it look small. Because Atlanta Braves Stadium is strictly made for pitchers. It hasn't been a great hitter's ballpark, and they're making this stadium look really, really small.
A 6th spot for Sammy. He's definitely moving on to the second round. And Gary, he had some moon balls.
Sammy, you made it. You'd only hit 3 home runs in 2 previous competitions combined. That third swing, 496 feet, the longest home run ever hit here. Much love from the crowd. You need a little love these days, don't you?
I think so. For the last 2 years that I've been here, I've been struggling. So I said this time, I'm going to concentrate myself, and I'm going to go out there and try to make contact. And I don't want to let my people down.
With all the trade rumors and the talk that's been going on in the past few weeks, how big a lift is this for you to have a moment like that?
It's great, because I'm going to come here, enjoy, relax, and whatever happens, happen. Whatever I go, I'm going to take care of business.
We'll see you in the second round. It's head-to-head this year. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary, thank you. Guys, 496 feet. How about that swing, Joe?
Doesn't get any better than that. That was just a beautiful swing, and a nice catch, too, by the guy in the upper deck. Made a good catch there. Look at that.
Edgar and the players watching Sammy Sosa just clobber that ball. And the smile, which we've come to know so well over the last few years. Sammy will be in the second round. Will Carlos Delgado and Ken Griffey Jr. join them? Sammy Sosa and Carl Everett with a half dozen. They're definitely moving on to the second round. Carlos Delgado and Ken Griffey Jr. each with 28 home runs are still to come. Well, if you're a lefty, here are the long balls that Delgado, 458, will try to hit. 476, and in the upper deck down right field, 70 feet high at 410 feet away. Although we should point out what we did at the beginning of the show, that the shortest dimension, and most parks have shorter dimensions than this, but 330 down the right field line is the shortest. Now here's a slugger that can hit with power to all fields, Joe and Alex. Carlos Delgado, who has 28 home runs, first in the American League. His 80 RBIs are tied for second in the American League behind Edgar's 87. He had 44 homers last year, 38 the year before. Remember when he was just a youngster, he was tattooing them off those Windows restaurants up in the Skydome way back as far as 94.
And a key figure here, Chris, is that he only needs 2 home runs to advance because he would have more home runs than the other guys. Let's go, mileage. And Ken Griffey Jr. is basically in the same position.
Well, you see that Carlos said go mileage. That's Andy Stewart. Carlos brought him here. He's the Blue Jays bullpen coach, so he's serious about this.
You know, Carlos has always been a very powerful hitter ever since he came into the league. The one thing that I'm so impressed with the last 3 or 4 years is he's a tough out. He'll take his 100 walks a year, 120 walks a year, and he's able to hit 50, 60 home runs. He hits the ball all over the place, and he's also a very good clutch hitter. So Carlos is a very tough man to deal with when you go into Toronto.
Well, I think the thing that impressed me about all you guys, you know, all you young hitters, is that you have all improved. You've learned, you continue to learn about hitting and learn more about yourself as a hitter. I mean, all of you guys I watch, I've seen you from the first day you came, and now I look at you as a hitter and I'm amazed. And I look at Carlos from the first time I saw him, Griffey Jr., all these guys, I see the progress that they've all made.
There's one to right field. Back it goes. And it gets there.
You know, Chris, one of the hardest things about doing one of these home run contests that we're always talking about is, you know, you have a cage. And the cage, what it does for a player is a security blanket. And you feel very, very comfortable. Once you take it away, the guys feel like they're in an island all by themselves. And it's not affecting Carlos very much.
Well, you know what, A-Rod, I also think the cage helps you to focus. You know, it makes you focus on the pitcher instead of looking around the stadium itself.
Exactly.
Well, he's already in the next round because he has hit 2 and now 3.
Well,
so
now he's getting the stroke down. Have that shot of Boomer Wells, who's going to start the All-Star game for the American League. And Carlos, hair is not in Toronto. Hey, he can hit him long that way, too, the opposite way. Huh? Look at Boomer. What a first half he's had.
Last year, Carlos had blonde hair, didn't he?
He's had all sorts of looks. But I tell you what, the look of those numbers that I gave you, along with a 363 batting average for a guy this size, with this strength.
He's truly become the leader of that team over there in Toronto, and I'll tell you, he's a go-get-him type of a guy. He's always very talkative, very energetic at first, and the one thing that I love about Carlos, he comes ready to play night in and night out, and that's something that you have to love as a teammate.
Right.
You know, he had a decision. I mean, it was a touch and go at the end of last year. Was he going to stay? Remember, he got hurt the last week of the season, but was he going to stay or not? And right at the end of the season, he and the Blue Jays came to an agreement on a new long-term
Nice pitch, Andy.
Allows him to be the leader, as you say.
And we won't ask you about your
No, I'm not going to draw you. You would think where we're going, but we're not. This is a night of fun.
I thought you were going there, Chris.
No. Hey, I was going to deflect it anyway.
Come on, Joe. Hey, Rod, you know better than that. Well, you'll have an interesting decision to make at the end of the year.
It should be fun. I'll tell you, Carlos is really intense about this. Look at that. He's very intense because he's screaming in Spanish to his pitching coach over there. I mean, his pitching guy. So he's intense. He's serious.
Andy Stewart, who's a bullpen catcher, is serving up almost at the base of the wall. Carlos with 5. And remember, Joe, I put that loony on him at the beginning of the show. Remember that?
You did. Yeah, but I think you did that because you knew I was going to pick Griffey Jr. and Delgado, so you chose Delgado.
Hey, that's a veteran move. Carlos Delgado getting in the groove, Gary Miller.
You're tired. You're the only guy, Carlos, that went out there without a lid. You go sans helmet and cap out there, and you came in with a little bit of a making up to do after the first few swings. We got in the groove then.
You know what? I felt pretty good after the second or third swing. I usually don't wear a hat for BP, so I guess I won a bet. We had a bet up there in Toronto that I was going to wear a hat. I say no, so I didn't wear a hat. This is fun. I mean, I didn't care if I hit one or not. I just wanted to come out and enjoy it, so it's been a lot of fun.
Did you know you only needed 2 home runs to make it to the second round? You didn't need all those other ones?
Yeah, I told Andy, let's go get 3.
Yeah, now you got a brushback pitch in the middle of that after you hit your 4th home run.
I'm sorry?
You got a brushback pitch in the middle of that. That's your guy. That's your bullpen catcher.
He'll keep me honest.
Okay, best of luck in the next round. It's head-to-head.
Thank you.
All right, Gary and Carlos, thank you very much. Looked like a breaking ball, didn't it?
Just throwing some cutters at him. You know, Chris, in my mind, I think, you know, National League has Sosa, Griffey, and McGuire. I don't think there's a guy in baseball in the American League that perhaps has more power than Carlos. He's unbelievable.
Well, he just gave us a glimpse.
And you can see that smile. He has a good time out there, and he said he wanted to have a good time, and he did.
Well, we've heard from everyone except some fella named Junior. First time at the Home Run Derby as a Red.
Pete, congratulations on breaking the all-time Grand Slam record. For 32 years, I held that record. Of course, that life for me is over. Pride, gone. Reason to live, gone. Some say if I had your graphite racket and fancy shoes, I'd have kicked your butt. Still, there is one thing that gets me out of bed in the morning. When you hit the senior circuit, you're mine.
Axe, $60. Platter, $40. Tuxedo, $400. Losing yourself in a movie, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, accepted at a theater near you.
I'm Dan Patrick here in the ESPN Radio Chopper. Radio marketing is all about promotions. That's why we're blanketing the country with these ESPN radio bats. We've got live sporting events. We've got call-in shows. You can log on to ESPNradio.com and find out more about stations in your area. Or you can listen online. So tune in. And if you happen to catch one of these bats, enjoy!
Now, will Junior Griffey, who needs only 2, join them or not? Junior trying to win this home run derby for the 3rd straight year and 4th overall. And by the way, he began the season with 398 home runs and leapfrog over Dale Murphy, we've seen tonight, Al Kaline, Cal Ripken, Duke Snyder, and now Junior with 28 home runs this year at 426 has tied the legendary Billy Williams. Canseco, of course, is still playing, but he's next in the sights, and he could get up as high as the Hawk, Dave Kingman, Carl Yastrzemski. I mean, these are some serious names that someone who's just 30 years old is approaching. Hello! I think I remember how to do this. It's gone. Alex, you marveled at him day in, day out as a teammate till this year.
You know, I think Ken is just an unbelievable talent, and playing with him, I really get a great appreciation of what his talent is and what it identifies, I guess. But Junior really has a big advantage, I think, over everyone because his endurance is second to none. He's the only guy I've ever played with that he can take 70, 80, 100 swings and not get tired. So his endurance really pays off in these type of home run contests, and that's why he's done so well over the years.
What did he teach you about playing the game of baseball? I don't mean about how to feel. Back, well, let me curve that for a minute and say Junior is joining us in the second round. What did he teach you that goes beyond the basic baseball skills?
You know, the greatest thing about Griffey is that he's in the lineup every day. I've seen him play with a broken wrist. I've seen him play with pulled hamstrings and bad knees, and that's what he taught me about the game of baseball. His passion for the game was second to none. He wanted to play the game day in and day out, and he really worked at it too. And earlier in his career, he took, like I said, 100, 150 swings every day before the game. I didn't know how he can do that.
You know what? I was there one day. He took early batting practice. Then he hit with his group. And you're right. He took so many swings. I said, man, aren't you going to get tired? You'll be too tired to play in the game. He said, no, never get tired of hitting. And, you know, and I guess you're right. So I've seen him do that and go out and have a good night.
And, I mean, when most guys are tired in the second or third round, I mean, he wishes there were 10 rounds because he's just right in his peak, I guess.
A lot of guys have Barry Bonds especially, I have a great affection for Barry because he has a sense of history. He knows what Willie Mays, knows what all these guys did. Have you ever thought about what you're going to do? Are you going to 500 home runs, 3,000 hits? I mean, do you ever think about those things as an accomplishment for you before your career's over?
You know, it's something you think about, Joe, but I'm just so happy to be playing right now, and I really focus on the present tense because I feel like as an athlete, that's when I'm at, another home run by Junior.
Number 4.
I feel like I'm at my best when I think about the present tense, not the future or the past, but oh my, look at that.
Is there a question here? Back, gone.
But you like to do some nice things in the future, whether it's the 400, 500 home runs. Those are things you always dream about as an athlete.
Oh, that ball had hair on it, didn't it? 6 home runs for Junior.
Well, this is actually the kind of show Mark McGwire put on last year, you know, in Boston. He didn't do as well in the finals, but he had a great start there, and Griffey's having a great start.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man, to right center. Back it goes. Not quite.
Chris, I mean, the one thing about Ken Griffey Jr., he might hit 800 home runs in his career. And unlike many power hitters, he uses one of the lightest bats in all of baseball. We shared bats for many years in Seattle.
Does this stay fair?
No.
Not quite.
We shared the same bat for many years, and 34-31, and it's a very small bat. It's unbelievable how he creates that bat speed.
Now, small bat does some wondrous things. Junior moving on to the second round, and he's moving on to Gary Miller.
Junior, your very first swing goes out, and you come here, you set a tone for defending your title. You're giving them something to shoot for.
No, I mean, this is for the fans all around the world, and especially a show for the people here in Atlanta. This is something that is a lot of fun. Guys enjoy sometimes doing it. But like I said, you know, the people who punch the ballots to get us here, you know, this is what we do. This is why we do it.
You're not going to be able to play in the game itself, but you said it was important to come back and defend your 2, make that 3 belts.
Well, somebody has to. Yeah.
All right, you're going against Carlos Delgado head-to-head for the first time, and the first time as a National Leaguer. Hopefully you're up for it.
Well, you know, he's a great competitor. You know, I've played against him for so many years, and he's done some tremendous things offensively and defensively. And you know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, go get him, Junior. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary. So at 30 years young, he already has 426 home runs, and well, he's moving on to round number 2. And that swing, it's sweet, as you guys have talked about. So's the smile. It is. It's not loud rock and roll music when he swings, is it? It's more like mood music.
There's his son, Trey.
Yeah. That's a great shot, guys. Well, we have 3 names you might have expected, and Carl Everett, the outsider, Sammy and Carlos Delgado, and Junior Griffey, the 4. Moving on to round 2 here in the Home Run Derby. Back to Atlanta. You can join ESPN Radio tomorrow at 8 Eastern Time for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Charlie Steiner, Dave Soup Campbell bringing the midseason classic from here in Atlanta. Check your local listings for the station in your area. Tune in tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. That's 5 Pacific, 2 in Hawaii. The All-Star Extravaganza. Now, the way this works here is that Sammy Sosa is essentially seated 3rd with his 6 home runs in the opening round.
Carl Everett is seeded second. Delgado with 5 homers is seeded fourth. Ken Griffey with 6 homers seeded first. The reason Griffey, Everett, Sosa are 1, 2, 3 is that the tiebreakers are how many home runs you have at the break. Griffey with 28, Everett with 24, Sosa with 23. So it'll be head-to-head now. Sosa at Everett, if you will. This is a change, Joe.
Yes.
This head-to-head in the second round. I kind of like it, don't you?
Well, I think what they're trying to do is there have been some complaints of guys get tired trying to go through too many rounds and get to the final. So I think this works better. I think this is a good way of eliminating the players.
Sammy had 6 home runs in the first round, including the longest.
So Sammy Sosa, almost 500 feet with one of his home runs, one of his 6 in the first round. That was the longest of anyone in the first round. 31 years of age in his 11th major league season from San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic.
And Alex, you were saying something in the break about Sammy not having the hot streak yet.
Well, I was talking to Sammy, and he's back in good spirits. He's having a good time, and he basically just said he hadn't gotten in a really good hot streak like he has the last couple of years. But he expects he's going to get hot, and I'm thinking he's going to hit his 50, 55 home runs. And, I mean, his swing is way too good not to hit his 50 home runs at least.
Well, you mentioned a hot streak. Remember in 98 when he had 66 homers, 20 of them came in June, which is the major league record for any month at any time, including a homer on his first at-bat in that June and his last at-bat in that June. So that's a hot streak that you're talking about. He hopes to get hot here. Goes to dead center, and it's just not enough. Look at those youngsters trying to make that grab. That's exciting. Oh, come on, don't tell me Larry Dirker's tired. So Carl Everett studying carefully. You get 10 outs in this round as well.
I like what Sammy's doing here. He's taking a lot of pitches. He's seeing the traction of the ball, seeing what kind of movement the pitcher has. That will help in later rounds, especially if he advances.
One milestone Sammy did attain this first half of the season. He passed the 1,000 RBI mark. It's always an impressive number. And now here's a look from Mass Cam. With Mike the plate, Joe. We get camera on the mask. We're all over. We bring the gadgets out when you come. I don't see that in our little. And it's gone. Our little cottage industry on Wednesday night. I don't see that in the fight. So Sammy's on the board here in the second round. That's why you bring your glove to the game. Chino Cadejia, the Braves coordinator of Latin American development, is the pitcher for Sammy. Nomar Garcia Perez back with us, and Nomar, so what's Carl Everett doing here? Sizing up Sammy, trying to pick a number? Is he nervous?
You know what, I was looking at him. I don't think so. I think he's just focusing on himself.
Well, look, we don't need to focus that far.
Oh, my God. And we're just all watching that, I think. Holy smokes. Don't you think Sammy should use a broken bat to make it fair for everybody else? It's not going to matter.
We're going to petition the rules committee, Nomar.
Right?
That's a good one.
And I was always wondering, you know, does it count if it goes through the wall? Because as hard as these guys are hitting the ball, it may go through the wall.
Hey, how about Sammy if he got to hit, you know, he did earlier in his career as a White Sox, of course, but Sammy at Fenway on a regular basis. What do you think, Nomar?
He may hit it through the wall, like I said. He may hit it through Fenway, but he can do some serious damage at Fenway, that's for sure.
He's got a pretty good park to hit in anyway.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wrigley Field.
Yeah, I'm sure he likes Wrigley as well.
Yeah. As Ernie Banks would say, the friendly confines of Wrigley Field.
That second homer that Sammy hit was 486. Oh, man. Sky to center. Back it goes. Back. Gone.
I'll tell you what, the ball is, he's hitting the ball and it's really carrying. It doesn't look like he's getting all of it. There's Ernie Banks. I mean, and the ball is really carrying for him. He's getting that good rotation on it. Back.
Goodbye. Oh, off
the facade of the second deck.
You know, Chris, you were talking about Sammy Sosa and how he resembles a little bit Willie Mays. I don't know Willie Mays, but I will tell you this. He's got one of the widest bats in all of Major League Baseball and the strongest and biggest hands. I mean, for not being so tall, his hands are almost the size of mine, and they're really strong and really thick. And that's where he provides a lot of his type of power right here. That's unbelievable right there.
Oh, that's another upper decker.
Well, he's gotten into a groove. I mean, it took him a while to hit his first one. Now, all of a sudden, he's gone crazy.
Well, that's what I meant before by the upper body, and you know that.
I knew what you meant. Hey, you and I have both discussed too many times how great we thought Willie Mays was. No one has compares.
No. So Sammy with 5 homers, 6 outs, and the smile, the perpetual smile. Now, Sammy, for his career now, has 359 home runs, so 400 for him after a comparative late start. Oh! He may get 400 on that swing alone!
That might be 500. That might be 500. That's my call on that, Chris. 500.
Look at the crowd!
That has to be 500, Joe, right there. That is unbelievable.
He's getting a standing ovation from all the fans here. Look at this.
Well, what did we do? Before he came up the first time, we said, remember Big Mac at Fenway? Maybe this is Sammy's show place tonight. We don't lie here on the Home Run Derby. Oh, man.
Sammy.
Isn't it wonderful to go, oh, is this going to stay fair?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it nice in a not your home park to have the whole place cheer for you?
That is the ultimate compliment for any player, to get a standing ovation, and Sammy's had his share over the years, that's for sure.
Oh.
Finally made an out, huh? That quieted the crowd.
3 outs to go with 7 gone. The junior said, well, I don't have to deal with this till maybe the next round.
But I think now fatigue becomes a factor, and I think that's what Alex was saying, that in the past, Junior has been the strongest, been able to maintain his strength throughout the rounds. And I think you can see right there, Sammy's getting a little tired because all of a sudden he's dropping his back shoulder and he's popping a few balls up. I mean, you only have so many great swings in you unless you are Junior Griffey.
And you look at the size of his back compared to with what Junior uses. I mean, you can see it all the way from the booth, guys.
You really can. Sammy used a real, like an R161.
Yeah.
That's a real thick handle with a real big barrel.
This is a rainmaker. Gone! Wow. Hey, Nomar, could you swing a bat like this heavy?
Are you kidding me? I got to kick it up to my shoulder.
No more uses a size 33, I believe, right? No more?
33, 31. I can't use anything bigger than that. It'll swing me.
No more went 4 months without breaking a bat. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
You have to be a good hitter. You have to be hitting everything on the good spot.
See, Nomar, I think the Red Sox should give you a bonus just for not making them buy more bats.
That's what they said. I get to save money. You know, the less bats. That's really all it's about.
That's why they love you up there. Wow. 1 out left. And there are more homers in the bat of Sammy Sosa. Oh. Answer, yes!
What is the all-time record for 1 round? And there's 9, and the record is 13, so he's approaching that record.
McGuire last year hit 13.
But remember, McGuire tired himself out and didn't do as well in the final round.
Oh, Carl Everett has his work cut out for him, boys. Yowza!
I mean, even his opponent is clapping. Carl Everett Everett stands up, gives him a standing ovation.
That ball actually stopped up there, huh? Oh, my God.
You know what? I think we're at the point now, whoever the winner is really irrelevant. Sammy is the winner.
Yeah.
He may not get the trophy.
Oh, no! Gone!
This is amazing. You have to remember, last year we're in Boston. It was a lot shorter in left field to hit balls out. This is a big ballpark, and as Barry Bonds said, these guys are making it look small. And this is a huge ballpark.
Gets under this one just a little. 11 home runs and a standing ovation here in Atlanta. Gary Miller.
Sammy, what an honor it is to be the guy out of all this throng of 50,000 plus to stand next to you. You rose your bat in the air. I mean, there was something special going on up there in that batter's box.
You know, that's why we come here to have some fun. Like I say, for the last 2 years I haven't had some fun, and today I'm having a lot of fun.
Over 5, which one the one that impressed you most? You went in that second deck twice, and then that thing out in center field out by the furnace ducts.
What impressed me the most is everybody here has some fun. All the fans come here to support us, and that's a thrill. That's something you can, I really, really appreciate everything the fans do.
Well, no mercy on Carl Everett. He's going to have to put on quite a show. Congratulations, Sammy.
Thank you.
Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary, thank you. Guys, where do we begin? Oh, this is just a mere 486. Oh. He had 484, 486, 486, and 508. You know, these are part of the park that no one ever sees. Look at Ernie.
Forever a Cub.
You know what? Forever a baseball fan. Carl Everett, who has to bat against him, he's enjoying this like the rest of us. Sammy, say it ain't Sosa putting on a show. Carl Everett, good luck. In Atlanta, where Sammy Sosa has put on a show, and how about this show? If you missed any of the Emmy Award-winning Sports Century series, guess what? ESPN Classics got you covered. We'll rerun the series every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, some guy named Babe Ruth, number 2, and some guy named Michael Jordan, number 1. These are our shows tomorrow on the ESPN Classic. You can dial 1-800-CLASSIC or call your cable provider. Well, Carl Everett was very impressive the first time, Joe. He's kind of the outsider in this. But he's going to have to hit it way outside to beat Sosa's 11.
Well, I mean, that was just so impressive. And look at Everett's bringing a white towel to the plate. He gives it over to Sammy. Look at that. He's throwing in the towel already. He said, but I'll give it my best shot.
Well, it's hard to hit 11 home runs at once, but you know what? Here's a heck of a start for Carl Everett. Back, and gone. One swing, one homer.
Maybe Sammy inspired him.
Inspired the rest of us. Al, here's to left field, back, and wait a minute now.
9 to go.
Here's 2 for Everett. We should explain another change in the rules because we're going to head-to-head competition. We have what's called, Joe, I'm going to call it a blast-off. Now, I know Carl's got a long way to go to get to 11 home, but let's say they finish up tied with the same home runs. There's no artificial tiebreaker. Then they go One swing for one swing for the other. One swing for one swing for the other until one hits and one doesn't, and that's it. So a blast off, perhaps. Wow. Nomar, did you give Carl any advice here?
Yeah, I said you only need to hit 12. And I told him, you know, it doesn't matter how far you hit him, just hit him over the fence. That was impressive what Sammy did. I think we were all quite impressed with that. I think Sammy just woke this crowd up. He woke all of us up. We were here on the field. We all had to stand up for that.
6 minutes to go.
Isn't it fun getting a view of this when you're not worried about him hitting homers against you, Nomar? I mean, you can just marvel at what all the players do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When you see these guys doing what they're doing, it's great. And you have to marvel at it. I mean, we're still fans at heart. Not only do we play this game, but we're fans too. And we're like, wow, what some people can do, it's amazing.
Hey, Nomar, you and Alex and Derek Jeter, shortstops together in the All-Star game for the first time, because Omar Vizquel's been so good and always one of you guys has missed it. And Alex, I'll bring you in on this too. The three of you guys are such good friends and such students of the game and lovers of the game, and now you get to play on the same team. How's that going to be?
Well, it's nice. It's nice. I tell you what, the only thing I miss, I know Alex is up there and he's hurt a little bit because he definitely deserves a start, but I'm glad he made it out there to see him and everything. I'm glad he's here. But it's fun. You know, people say, you know, there's such a rivalry between us three. You know what? We all enjoy the game, and I think that's the most important part.
Yeah, I think to echo what Nomar says, not only do we respect each other on the field, but we're all becoming very, very good friends off the field, and we had a chance to hang out a little bit this winter, and hopefully we'll be able to duplicate that. But more than anything, we're all just huge, huge fans of the game of baseball, and we like to play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Are all three of you guys bachelors?
Are you Nomar?
What's that? I didn't hear that question.
He said you guys were hanging out together. I said all three of you bachelors?
I am.
Yeah, all right.
I think so. We're all real young.
Three young bachelor shortstops hanging out together. That's a pretty good combination.
Does Everett keep this one fair? Yes, he does. Home run.
What's interesting, A-Rod, I'm talking about all these young players and how good they are and how they're progressing. And heck, you're younger than all of them. You're only 24 years old. You'll be 25 later this month.
That's why he always pays.
Well, Everett with number 5.
Joe, the one thing about this is that I am the youngest, Derek is the richest, and Nomar's the best. So it's a nice combination of how things work out.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Right.
I don't think any of you guys are hurting a little. Going to be hurting ever.
And guess what? Carl Everett is hanging in here with 6 home runs. I know he's got a way to go, but give him the nod. 6 in the first round, 6 in the second round. So do you guys all go to Joe Torre, Nomar, and Alex and Derek like, hey, can I play 4 innings, Skip, or is it 3-3-3? What is it?
I told him, I said, they can play all they want. I want to watch them, too. I want to watch these guys play. That's what I came for.
That's the same thing. You just want to go out, get in a bat or two, and Joe says, get you out of there, and you got a big smile on your face.
Carl Everett's got to hit 5 homers here before he makes the next out. Tell you what,
hey, that's all right. That'll
he did a very good job, didn't he, Nomar? Didn't you guys? But when you're up against Sammy's 11, that's trying to climb Mount Everest with tennis sneakers. It's just not going to work. Gary Miller.
Carl, I see you looking over there for Sammy. You threw in the white towel before you started out there. Was there any chance, or if you're going to lose to somebody, I guess a performance like that makes it a little easier to take?
He brought his A game right there. Oh. I'm still impressed by that 500-foot home run, man. It's just, yeah, that's a tough act to follow.
At least you were part of it, and your 6 home runs was as good as anybody got in the first round. Congratulations, Carl. Back up to you, Chris.
All right, Gary. Carl Everett. So Carl at 6 and 6, but it's Sammy moving on to the finals, where he'll play either Carlos Delgado or Ken Griffey Jr. Delgado to the plate first against the 2-time defending champ, Junior Griffey. We have more fireworks.
Sosa beats Carl Everett 11-6 to move on to the finals. Carlos Delgado against Ken Griffey Jr. coming up. Hey, we saw all the players with their cameras down on the field. Here's what Jason Jambi shot for him and for us.
Hi, this is Jason Jambi, and I'm from the All-Star Game. And nobody really cares about the All-Star Game. The only thing that cares about is the home run contest and people going deep, and I mean real deep. And there's all the big boys getting ready to battle. Hometown boy. Look at them act like they're friends. They don't like each other. No one stays fair. That's just an out here, though, home run derby. Where is my little idiot brother? Who are you security for today?
They told me Derek Jeter. I don't know why.
Where's my boy at? There's my boy. You think he's nervous? Not.
That was great, Jason. How about those A's? You're not tough to shake them, isn't it?
Very tough, Chris. They have a very good team. They have a great manager, and you know, they have a lot of sluggers over there, and they have a nice starting rotation too. So it's going to be a great race. Everybody forgot about the West, but they have a good race going over there, so we're going to have a lot of fun.
And they have one going on in the AL East, where Toronto, led by this man, Carlos Delgado, and tomorrow's starter, David Wells. That is clearly going to be a three-team race to the end. And as we said, the team leader, Carlos Delgado, who has become not only a power hitter, but a great overall hitter, right, Joe?
Yes, he's like I said, I've seen all the improvement that he has made and all these young players. I'm just impressed with how well they've disciplined themselves and how well they've improved, how much they've improved over the last couple of years.
And I'll tell you something else. Delgado always got a hard time for his defense because, as you know, he came up as a catcher with the Blue Jays. But he said, I'm not signing here to be a DH. I'm signing here to play first base. And Jim Fregosi told me he has worked hard, and the results are already evident in the way he fields the first base position. You know.
Chris, you know, this might be Chris and Joe, this might be the first time that I can remember, maybe in home run contest history, that you have both first basemen that were voted in, not in the home run contest.
You're right.
That's kind of weird.
A good call.
Usually those are the sluggers.
Come up and join us more often.
Yeah, keep us on our toes.
Not that we want to see you injured out there.
No. Because I actually think the American League West depends on the condition of your knee. If you're healthy, I think you guys are in good shape.
You think you're playing on Thursday? You don't know yet.
You know, I don't know about Thursday, Chris, but I'm hoping over the weekend. Rick Griffin's working really hard with my knee, and I'll tell you, we've done a nice job. We have a really nice ball club, and got to, you know, credit Howard Lincoln and Pat Gillick for assembling a nice ball club.
Gary! Does it get out? Not quite. You saw that shot of Sammy Sosa staying loose for the next round. He took the swings. So, almost like a DH, going down there, just taking swings, walking around.
Well, the one great thing here is it's so warm here, you don't have to worry about staying loose.
That's for sure. Carlos Delgado with a hard to get untracked here. He has 3 outs and only 1 home run. Will this stay up long enough? Not quite. I mean, there's an extra base hit in the bigs, but it's an out here. Not quite getting the elevation, guys. And he's halfway done with the 5 outs.
Yeah, but these guys are capable of getting hot, hitting 5 or 6 in a row.
Well, my loony is riding on this, Joe. Gary's
Sammy, you needed a little bit of time off that performance.
Wow, that was an awesome performance. But right now, just gotta just keep doing it, just keep it continue, hit the ball right in front. So, but one thing that I want to do the most is come here and put in the good show, because like I said, the last 2 years been not good for me. So now, I feel comfortable. I feel like I haven't, let my people down, and whatever happens from now on, I'll be okay.
Now, do you have anything left for this next round?
Definitely.
Yeah?
I always have something left.
Can you hit more than 11?
Oh, what a question. Well, no. Let's see what happens.
We will. Everybody be watching.
But I'm ready.
Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary. Sammy's ready. Carlos Delgado's got to get hot right now. That loony is only worth about 68 cents, Joe.
Well, I have to tell you, you lost it.
You know what's funny here is that we talked so much this spring about the National League Central, and that was where all the power was. Well, we may have a National League Central matchup here with Ken Griffey Jr. and Sammy Sosa.
Pete.
Celebrity hitting challenge. Gary Thorne and the gang. So that comes up right after this. So more action from Atlanta. Well, here's the thing for Junior Griffey now, guys. As soon as he hits 2, he's on to the next round. So he can stop right there. Now, I mean, we keep stats that you never knew that anybody had, Joe.
Right.
And he is the all-time home run derby leader. I think when they write Junior's history of baseball, when it's all done, that may not make the first paragraph.
I'll try my best.
Or the last one. But yet it is a fact, and we didn't want to hold any information.
He has a big advantage. I think he made his first All-Star appearance when he was 19.
So there was this old hat to him, right?
Yeah, most guys are in A-ball when they're 19 years old. Junior was an All-Star game.
Except you and him. Pudge Rodriguez, another one that came up before his 20th birthday.
Roberto Alomar is one that comes to mind. He's in his 11th this year.
He's jamming Griffey.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what they were doing to him earlier in the year.
Braves extra bullpen catcher is Alan Butts. He's pitching to Griffey, who hopes there are no ifs nor ands. Will this one stay up long enough?
No.
Nope. So 3 outs for Junior. Delgado only had 1. 4 outs for Junior. Is this just toying with us? Is he toying with us?
No, I think that's the difference in the batting practice pitcher is speeds. You know, guys changing speeds technically.
Joe, another thing that I thought about was when you sit down for 45 minutes or so and you look at guys, you kind of get a little bit in a lazy mode. Your bat speed is not quite there. You need about 4 or 5 swings to get back in the swing of things.
Delgado saying, wait a minute, I'm still alive here. Well, Carl Everett, who had 6, saying, wait a minute. If it's the old format, I'm in, perhaps. But it's not.
And another thing, you know, like you say, he sat over there for a while, and he has been sitting over there for a while, and the fact that he does have a bad knee, you know, could be affecting him as well.
Well, this is the type of game you expect here in Atlanta with the Braves pitching staff, a 1-0 ball game, isn't it?
Hey, Phil,
the crowd say, hey, Junior, let's go here. You only got 3 outs. Well, there's the one. Back, and gone. So we at least will have a blast off. And if he hits 1 more, he's in against Sammy. This may do it.
No.
Nope, not quite. Missed it by that much. You remember that show, Joe? A-Rod, you way too young.
A-Rod wouldn't remember that.
Get smart. I don't think you remember that one. Well, this missed it by not at all. It's gone. And Junior Griffey has defeated Carlos Delgado. So we began with the 2 biggest names of the night being Junior Griffey and Sammy Sosa in this home run derby. And that's what we'll have in the finals. Now, does he want to get in some groove knowing that he's going to be up almost immediately? Is that why he's still up there?
I think that's probably why he wants to, and as A-Rod said earlier, he doesn't get tired hitting, so he just wants to get some more swings in.
He tried to take out half of the American League, his old league there with that pop-up. But Junior Griffey with 3 home runs has defeated Carlos Delgado in a pitcher's duel. And it'll be Griffey and Sosa. You know, when we came to the park, that's kind of what we were hoping for quietly. Sometimes you get what you ask for.
The 2000 Century 21 Home Run Derby is presented by Century 21, the official real estate organization of Major League Baseball, and in part by Nike and by Toyota. Go for it every day.
We are now down to 2 in the ring, if you will. The 2 heavyweights being Sammy and Junior. And so we bring back and go down to Michael Buffer for the introductions of the finalists. Well, the suspense is killing us, guys. Who's in the finals?
His microphone's not working.
He's got a good enough voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Tonight, here at the 2000 Century 21 Home Run Derby, we started with 8. We are now down to the final 2. Batting first. In 1998, he hit 66 home runs. Last year, he hit 63. So far this year, he's got 23 homers. And tonight, he blasted one 508 feet to center field. He'll be batting first. Ladies and gentlemen, he is, of course, Slammin' Sammy Sosa.
This is fun. It really is fun. This is fun.
Chris, this will be the first time in several years that a National League will be the winner, because American League's won the last few years, and now National League will be the winner this year.
You mean you still think that way? That's good.
You kept track of all that. So here we go. Of the home runs hit in the 2 rounds in the Home Run Derby, the longest 6 were Sammy's. 508, 496, 486, 486, 484, 455. Tries for dead center. Not quite the furnace, but it's a home run.
Griffey sitting there, he says, well, now I need 2.
That was inside. Does it stay fair? Yes, it does.
Now I need 3. And that's what has to be running through your mind if you're Ken Griffey Jr. waiting your turn.
Yeah, they've added fireworks that they're exploding over the right field upper deck.
You know, Chris and Joe, the nice thing about a guy like Sosa, who has so much confidence, is I remember 3 years ago, we're in spring training, of course, for spring training. And I say, Sammy, how do you feel? You look great. What kind of season you think you're going to have? What are you shooting for? He says, oh, I don't know, Alex. I might hit, 70, 80, 90 home runs. And he didn't smile. I said, well, okay. I'm going to try to hit 100. So I ended up hitting like 30. He ended up hitting 65. So I'm going to start trying to do that same thing Sammy did.
You know, the winner of the Century 21 Home Run Derby will also win a new home worth up to $250,000 for one of the 2 Century 21 All-Star Sweepstakes Grand Finalists. There's Connie Hammond from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Dennis Orvidal from Morris, Minnesota. They switched hats. So Connie had Junior's hat on, but she's represented by Sosa. And Dennis has the Cub hat on, but he's represented by Griffey. One of those 2 will win a $250,000 home.
And remember last year, the guy that won the home when Griffey won was ecstatic, and I can't blame him.
The only thing is that they ask whoever wins the home for him, Griffey or Sosa, don't practice their swings inside. Here's the way we've changed the finals. They do get 10 outs, but it's 5 outs, then the other man bats. Then it's back to Sosa for 5 more outs, then Junior bats for 5 more. So this is also a change.
He had 20 games at the All-Star break this year. He's with the National League and the Cincinnati Reds. He is the reigning and defending three-time home run derby champion. He's from the Cincinnati Reds, Ken Griffey Jr.
So Sammy with 2 in his first half, if you will.
You know, Chris, this type of format, in my mind, helps a guy like Sosa out, because Griffey can stand there like we alluded to earlier, and he can swing 50, 60 swings with no problem. This gives Sosa a chance to refocus, get his energy back, and get the Sammy Sosa swing going like he knows he can.
Good point.
Under this one, so this will be an out for Junior. So 3 outs here. Sammy's 2 looking a little better, at least. Yeah, this is not going to make it. But Junior took a long time to get going against Delgado, too. His first 7 at-bats in the semifinal match were all outs. Like to get 1 on the board here. And this is going to be close. Back it goes to right. And... oh, the bouncer off the top. He made it by that much. Now we should clear this up. I got different information, but that's Connie wearing the red hat, and she's rooting for Griffey. That's Dennis wearing the Cubs hat. She's represented by Sosa.
And he's just hit another one.
We're tied at 2. To left center, curving, not enough. Oh, look at the nice run by that youngster out there. Well, we're halfway through, perhaps. Griffey 2, Sosa 2. And Connie was enjoying this, but she wasn't sure that Griffey was going to get on the board. Here's the first one, guys.
Actually had a little more top hand into that one than normal, and that had just enough as it hits right on top.
Yeah, now wait a minute. The last didn't want to rob Griffey of a home run out there, Joe. 2-2. It's like the 7th inning stretch here, a little bit, huh? All right, make a call, guys. What do you think? I know you're on Griffey. You picked him before, Joe.
Well, I can't leave now.
I know that.
Even though Sammy's put on a great show, you can't get off your horse when they're in a tie.
You got a gut feeling, A-Rod? I know he was once your teammate, but I mean, this is you don't have to make one. We didn't bring it up to put you on the spot.
I'll tell you, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with my ex-teammate, Ken Griffey. I think he's about to get hot. He's due.
Sammy certainly had his hot streak with 11. 6 of the moon balls in the second round. Speaking of the moon, this one looks like a lunar eclipse.
Well, maybe. I mean, you can chop a lot of his up and add some more onto them. He's hit some long ones tonight.
So 3-2 Sosa. Oh, this is back. That's an 8-backer. Just missing the upper deck, but way back in the left field seats.
All of a sudden, Sammy's bat's starting to sound like Vladimir Guerrero's. There's an explosion when he hits it.
Yikes!
Oh, my. He's getting close to that $1 million bonus out there.
A house, $1 million bonus, a $250,000 house.
He's going to make some fans real happy, isn't he?
the facade of the second deck. Wow.
You know, Chris, it's great to see this type of contest because you have two totally different styles of hitters.
Right.
You have a guy that can probably bench press 400 or 500 pounds. Then you have a guy that's graceful like Griffey, that he can probably bench 250 and is not quite as strong, but is all with the grace of any of the best hitters in baseball.
Sammy Sosa, 480.
Sammy now has the 10 longest home runs that we've seen tonight, guys. I mean, the top 10 all Sosa. Still only one out in this particular group of 5. So 4 outs to go for Sammy with 6 gone. Down the line. Gone. Home run. The commissioner.
I have to tell you, if it was anyone else but Griffey, I'd say you may be able to intimidate them with these long home runs. But Griffey has been there before. There's his son, Trey.
You know, when these guys are hitting, all they're looking is for that one hot streak.
Oh, man, oh, man. That's almost a Savannah.
Wow. They're looking, Chris, for that one hot streak in which they can hit 9, 10, 15 home runs in a row. And that's why Griffey's never out of it, because he can always hit 15, 14 in a row. So Griffey's calm, cool, and collected. He's still in this thing.
I think that guy thinks that he has the keys to his house.
Tell you what, and you guys have both alluded to it, we may be seeing the jump start to an enormous second half of the season from Sammy in Chicago, right here tonight. Eight out, and 8 out of the yard. Make that 9! Way back in the upper deck! How about that kid bringing a glove to the park and saying, Mom, you mean you couldn't seat us any closer than 500 feet and he's got a ball?
I tell you what, the NBA has this slam dunk contest, but nothing compares to this. I went to the slam dunk contest this year and I was excited, but this is like the most excitement I've ever seen in any kind of exhibition like this.
I'll tell you what, that has to be uncharted territory up there.
It is.
You're looking at over 508 feet or whatever else.
Twice, 508 twice. That's his second 508-footer.
You can feel the electricity in this place, and they're really getting excited and behind Sammy.
1 out left. And Sammy steps way off the batter's box. Joe and Alex, like he's gearing for one last gargantuan blast. He's going to wait for the pitch, too. I like this. Ah. Has Sammy Sosa put on a show tonight, folks?
This is like a heavyweight champion fight or something. It's a hell of a show.
And you're right, he fed off the electricity here, don't you think, guys?
You know, Sammy's the type of guy, he likes the excitement, he likes the crowd, he likes the energy, and these people, you can hear them, Sammy, and I'll tell you, he was incredible. He put on a great show.
A pair of 508-foot home runs
He has the 12 longest of the night. And a man of 1,000 faces. Griffey, dad and son, saying, you know what? That's pretty good. Well, Sammy set the bar pretty high. He's got a total of 9. Can Jr. respond in his own way? He won it in 98 at Coors Field. He won it in 99 at Fenway. But Gary Miller, Sammy Sosa set this up pretty high, didn't he?
Sammy, you think that's enough?
I don't know. If I had to hit some more, I will in here. I think, like I said before, have some fun is the main thing here. This is the All-Star game, and we come here, to enjoy and be happy. And, this is the time that you cannot let it go. And like I said before, I've been having 2 years with nothing. And I think, this is the year that I've been improved for everybody that I belong here.
Not only with an amazing performance, but if you can beat this guy, it says a lot. We'll find out in a minute here. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary. Well, I think 129 homers over 2 years is proving he belongs here, don't you guys? Gets under it and hits it to center. Back to the track, but not quite enough. Well, you want to give away the key to the front door yet, Joe, but I think Junior saw that this was almost a no mas, huh?
Yeah, that was a no mas. Sammy Sosa.
I'll tell you, the fans got what they wanted, though. Those are the two guys they came out to watch, and they got it, and they put on a great show. They really did.
Dennis Orbital, his wife Cindy from Morris, Minnesota, has just won a house from Century 21 worth $250,000, and thanks. And they can't wait to run over to see Sammy. This is nice. 2 new Cub fans in Minnesota, I can tell you that.
Right.
Well, I'm sure Sammy has a guest room in that house.
Gary Miller, you're with the winner.
All right, thanks, Chris. Sammy, in addition to everything's going on here, the fireworks going off, you won a guy a $250,000 house.
Jesus. That guy feel great just like me. And for my first time that I came here and win this, it's been a lot to me, my family, my people that love me.
Sammy, how much does it mean to you with what you're going through in Chicago now? They're selling your stuff across the street at a clearance sale, and now you got fans in a foreign town. You got the opposing team standing on their feet, and they're yelling Sammy in Atlanta.
That's why baseball is so great. You can never give up, regardless no matter what happened outside. And now we're going to keep continuing with my job. And I know I got some people behind me that supported me and love me for real.
I want to introduce you to a guy who really loves you. Let's bring in Bud Selig first to give you the trophy.
Thank you very much, Sammy, for a remarkable performance that we've all gotten used to. You've brought so much honor and so much pride to baseball. Congratulations on tonight, and thank you for all you've done. Proud to be associated with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sammy, let's see the trophy.
I just want to say, for my country, Dominican Republic, my mama, my wife, my kid, and the city of Chicago, they've been supporting me 100%. I love you. Thank you.
Let me get one more guy who really loves you, Sammy. There's the man who you were going to help move into a new house from Century 21.
That's $250,000.
Congratulations. All right. Thank you, buddy.
Dennis, what do you think of this guy?
He's a king, man. He's Batman.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, a special moment with Sammy and Dennis and a new house on the way. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary, and we'll wrap it up here, but we saw a show and a half tonight from Sammy Sosa, one of only 5 guys to hit under 50 home runs over 3 years, and boy, did he hit him tonight. 26 in total. He's the champ. In Atlanta, how about this number? 26 home runs in 56 swings tonight as he gets into the second round. Then he beats Carl Everett 11-6 and then hangs a 9th spot on Junior Griffey, which really was no mas. I think
Sammy Sosa reminded everyone that, you know what? Don't rule me out of anywhere yet. And don't rule Sports Center out, which will come up a little late, but an hour after we go off the air at about 11:22-ish Eastern with Stuart Scott and Linda Cohn. All-Star game coverage, Carolina coaching situation update, and a look at Michael Irvin, who made his decision today. Oh, young and old fans, and a young fan up in the booth with us, Alex Rodriguez. It's great to see you up here, and we appreciate you, your insights, your statistics, and your marvel at Sammy as well.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time. Sammy put on a great show for everyone. There's 55,000 people went home with a smile tonight.
And when you get back on the field, there'll be many, many more thousands. Get back on the field. Good luck with you and the Mariners in the second half.
Thanks, Chris.
Joe, this was fun, huh? We've done a lot of these together, but this is as good as it got.
This is as good as you can possibly get, and the fact is we saw what the home run does for the fans. It excites the fans.
And it excited Sammy Sosa, that's for sure. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. We'd like to thank everybody who worked with us, Gary Miller, our crew that provided so many great shots, and of course, the All-Star shortstop. Have fun tomorrow night, Alex, although rooting your teammates on. Joe Morgan, always a pleasure working with you. I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching Hitting Challenge with Rick Sutcliffe and Gary Thorne.